Hey everybody, welcome back to the RapChat Podcast. I'm your host, Luke Dick.
I'm Elias Eldridge.
And I'm Sam Kenny.
All right, and before we head into the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts, make sure to leave us a rating and review. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and am I missing one? Instagram,
No,
Twitter, and TikTok.
That's it.
And YouTube.
Yeah, I guess YouTube.
I guess you're already
We're on YouTube too.
At RapChat Podcast, where you can find, I didn't even hear what it said, but at RapChat Podcast, where you can see us post new clips of the show every week. So just before we head into the podcast, we have a bit of an announcement here. We've come to think about this for the last few weeks, but we are going to start adding a second episode, everybody.
Yeah.
Wait, which one is it?
Yeah.
There we go. So we're adding in a second episode. We just felt personally like
There's too much to talk about.
there's too much to talk about, and
after a whole week.
yeah, and then we start to forget the games. Like for example, my game is first, right? I'm
feels
talking
so
about the
long ago.
Philly game. Yeah, it felt like that was like 2 weeks ago. I mean, it was
Yeah.
only like a week ago, but still,
It's so long ago. So much has happened since then.
And you just forget, especially the individual plays. Like even before we started recording, I was like, before you guys got here, I was like finding the moments because I marked down the timestamps of what was interesting during the game. And I was like going through the actual game trying to find the timestamps. I couldn't even remember what the fuck I was talking about.
Yeah.
So, so we're going to be adding a new episode. So we're going to be putting episodes out every Thursday and every Monday. So then that's you guys get to start your week with a podcast and you guys get to end your week with a podcast. So it'll be Mondays. We're hoping at 10 a.m. same time. 12 here. It'll be 10 a.m. for
11 a.m. here.
11 a.m. Wait, what?
11 a.m. Eastern. 11 a.m. Atlantic, 12 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
No,
wait, that
12
doesn't make
12
any sense.
p.m.
12 Atlantic.
12 Atlantic,
12
11
Atlantic,
Eastern.
11 a.m.
11
Eastern
Yeah.
time, yeah. So that's what it's going to be moving forward. We're going to have 2 episodes of the Monday at 11 Eastern, and then Thursday at 11 Eastern as well. 2 episodes a week. So
Let's go.
I think kicking it up to 2 episodes a week is the right move. We
Oh,
talked
for
about this
sure.
quite a bit.
We
We're
talk
just
about the
like-
Raptors like 7 days a week, so we might as well record ourselves twice
Exactly.
a week.
Well, and we also were talking about how, like what you said. We just talk about it so much.
We always
and-
have to be like, okay, we gotta speed it up now at the end of the podcast. We want to keep talking, but we can't.
Yeah.
And you know what was also good too is the fact that I remember thinking, like I brought this up to you guys before, but I remember thinking, damn, like we really need to record another episode, but I was scared to bring it up to you guys. I didn't know what you guys were going to say. And then I brought it up and you guys were like, damn, I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, oh, let's go.
Hey,
So
same wavelength.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay. So first, we're going
You're up first, man.
game
Order
recap.
first.
So
Yes.
my game recap was the November 11th game against Philadelphia in Philadelphia. So this was the Raptors there. First quarter. The first play was a nice pass down low from Fred for Scotty for that layup,
Yeah,
which was cool. Scotty's been trying to go for a little bit more of those that like behind the backboard, so
Using
that,
his
like,
length,
yeah.
layup, and he can make it sometimes. But so then what do I have here? There was Fred was going off, man. Like this guy was steady all game. Gary, he was taking a lot of those, like, so he would dribble in those mid-rangers, right? Taking them super confidently,
Yeah.
right? Like one thing that I feel like I noticed a difference a little bit with Gary and OG is that OG's shot is now kind of becoming a little bit predictable, like
The step backs.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the rise ups and stuff. And whereas I feel like Gary is just he's smooth and confident with his shot. I mean, maybe OG can learn a little bit there from Gary. So remember that also. Do you guys remember that one? So Banton drives into the key. This was at 5 minutes, 15 seconds. So Banton drives into the key, defenses collapses, and then he gets down low and kicks it out to Fred in between like 2 guys.
Oh, yeah.
And Fred hits that deep 3.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
the lineup with like no shooters, and for whatever reason they left the one shooter open. And
Exactly. And Fred has been hitting. So and that was Fred also coming off it to a screen on top, off ball again. So I know you like that, Fred playing off ball.
Very much.
Man, just like towards the end of the quarter, the defense just got so bad, and there was just so many transition buckets, and we just were not scoring. Like Philly would get transition after transition bucket, and we just couldn't retaliate, man. We couldn't score.
No.
I did take a photo though of this that they posted this in the first quarter. I thought this was so interesting. Listen to this. Scotty Barnes, 17 points per game on the season, 8.5 rebounds on the season, and a 53.3% field goal percentage. Tobias Harris, who's been playing...
I saw, yeah.
Yeah, who's been playing for Philly for, what, 3 years now?
He's been Philly
3 years. He was there when we beat them in the playoffs.
So about 3 years.
3 years. He's averaging 19 points per game, 9 rebounds, and 54.3% from field goal. This guy's been playing in the league for
a while.
He was in
a while.
He was an All-Star candidate last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a really good player.
And Scotty Barnes, that's not ridiculous. And Scotty Barnes is a rookie and almost matching his numbers, almost identically.
And Scotty's played like 15 NBA games ever.
Unreal. That just goes to show how good Scotty was. I remember like seeing that. I took a screenshot. Maybe we can put it up. But I took a photo of it because I was just like so impressed. I was like, holy crap, Scotty's putting up Tobias Harris numbers, and this guy's only played whatever it was, 15 games on this entire season. Like, that's incredible. So then the Raptors took a timeout. Fred hit a 3 right out of the timeout, which was awesome. But do you guys remember this? At the end of the first quarter, there was an absolutely BS call on Gary when he's trying to steal it from Tobias.
Yeah, I saw
and my God, man, that should have been a jump ball or at least a play on. There was no foul there.
There's a lot of reffing problems we'll be talking about.
I think the reffing, like league wide on the games I've watched, is kind of reverted back to last year's whistle. Like the rule changes that they talked about. At least the rule changes.
To be honest,
kept,
man, I'm noticing like more whistles this year than I did last year.
Well, on different things, like I think the years, like the first week of the year,
there wasn't many whistles at the start of the season.
But I think it's kind of reverted back to.
But they're still not calling the James Harden Trae Young stuff.
But like I think they're not letting the same physicality go on defense.
I think they should,
so
man. I definitely think they should, man.
Soft now.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
And I was so pissed off. Like I was like, yo, the guy who has the most steals in the league, you're gonna call a foul on him when this is clearly a jump ball.
No respect.
Or a play on. The quickness that they called that foul with, and then how when they played it on the replay, it was.
You just know LeBron's never gonna get called a foul for that.
Never.
I can't picture that. Dude.
That really pissed me off. I really honestly think that they should change the challenge situation too.
They should make it so if you win the challenge, you get another challenge.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, I think that the reason why is because it was an introduction into the league. Like I think challenging is only new within the last year. So
it's been. I think it's the third season.
It wasn't around during the 2019 championship.
No, it was after that. So
only a year.
This is the third year. This is the third year with it.
Yeah,
because there's 2020. There's 2019, 2020, 2020, 2021.
No. It wasn't in 2019, 2020.
No, wait. That was the year after the championship.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So this is the third season of the challenge rule. I remember, and it's a new thing. So, but to be honest, in my opinion, I think that they should change it to that too, because like.
I think everybody thinks they changed to that. I don't know why they haven't.
Yeah, or get like a challenge. Is it a challenge per half?
They should do that.
Yeah, they should do a challenge per half.
Yeah.
Like I like it. I think that would be a great idea to add in, because it's just we saw Nick Nurse I think take an early challenge in this game.
A Portland game.
Or was that a Portland game? Yeah, and it was just
screws you over the rest of the game.
Yeah, and that was the.
It was a charge call on Kem Birch.
Right.
Or it was blocking,
man. That was, and I still think that should have been reversed.
I don't understand.
I don't understand that one either. And there's a weird call in this, but I'll get to that.
It's the OG one.
No, it's the
that was the
Delano.
Detroit. No, that was the Detroit game. The OG one. I'll talk about that.
Oh no, it was, and also I'll tell you. Okay, so the second quarter, beginning of it was dry for the first like 5 minutes, and then Precious had a nice lob to Boucher at 6:48, which was
my heart stopped.
So that was okay. Precious almost looked like he had his head down the whole time he's dribbling, but then he just robs it up right up to Boucher, and I was like, oh,
I was like, what are you doing, Precious?
I know,
the best fast break duo of all time. Precious and Boucher.
Yeah. Two guys who never want taking the ball up.
Magic Johnson and James Worthy right there.
Yeah. So then there was at 6:19 there was a super light call on Delano Banton for an offensive foul for a screen. Do you guys remember that when he had that screen?
Oh yeah, and Curry kind of grabbed him and
that was one of the weakest calls I've ever seen.
That's a rookie call, man.
It was horrible. I was like, come on, dude. Like this is so soft. It pissed me off.
At least he won this game. The other games we lost and the reffing was bad, and I get so mad.
Oh man. So 3:47 in the second quarter, Precious had a solid block on Andre Drummond.
Yes, that's right.
And slapped that shit right out. And see, like
he had some good defense this game.
The reason why I wanted to point that specific play out was because we've had a lot of debate on this podcast whether a guy like Precious and guys like Kim can handle big dudes like Andre Drummond, right? And it's like, well, it's all about how you play them. You know what I mean? And also Precious can get bigger too. I think we should focus.
Well, something with people to talk about Andre Drummond's size. Andre Drummond's 6'10". No one talks about his size. Precious 6'9", like, and he's I wouldn't say just like close to as broad as Drummond, right?
Yeah, well, he's more athletic. I still think we should broaden up Precious.
100%,
I think
100%. He's still really young, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's as huge of a concern as people make it out to be.
Philly went for like a 12-4 run near to kind of close the half. It was 52-57 for Philly at the halftime. Third quarter, Fred hits a three right out of the third quarter, which was awesome. And then Scotty breaks a 7-0 run with an offensive rebound and a layup, which was really nice. So yeah, there was a couple plays here in the third quarter that I really wanted to point out. At 6:50, Precious tries the dunk, misses. Scotty gets the rebound, kicks it over to Fred, and then Fred moves it to Gary, who hits the three. It was just great teamwork, great play. Do you guys remember that? It was I think it was a highlight play there. But it was great teamwork and great sharing of the ball. I think it was a lot. There was in the second half of this game. I think we saw a lot more sharing. Of
getting on the glass and then kicking it out to shooters. A lot of that.
100%.
Yeah.
There was a nice transition play with Fred giving it to Scotty, who then found Boucher cutting underneath for the dunk.
Yep.
And I wrote down great eyes, Scotty.
Yep.
Like that was like,
great eyes, Scotty.
Great eyes,
He does have great eyes.
Yeah.
That's some brown. Oh my god.
Yeah, great vision.
Nice big brown eyes on Scotty Barnes. Then we had an 11-0 run. So that was awesome. Scotty with at 420, Scotty with a big mid-range jumper.
Yeah, the step back.
And that made it the 11-0 run.
Yeah.
That was changing from a 9-0 run to an 11-0 run. It was just
big third quarter
so
for Scotty.
Smooth, so confident. And it's weird when he just randomly pulls out that jumper so confidently. Like he's like, you don't do this all game.
It's always in a guy's face too.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
Just looking around and be like,
yeah, pull it.
Make it.
I marked down awesome defense at 3:45. We ran down the shot clock, but Korkmaz threw up a three with 3.5 seconds left on the shot clock. Drummond got the rebound, and then Precious blocked it, and then gave it to Fred, who took it all the way down for a layup.
Yeah.
Then there was a lob from Fred to Boucher, and that caused a timeout for Philly at 2 minutes. I also wanted to mention this. Shout out to Lowry's mom.
Oh yeah, she's in the crowd. Yeah.
Who showed up wearing her Raptors hoodie shirt or something. Shout out to Lowry's mom for showing up to the game, supporting the Raptors in Philly, which was great. That was the other place where Kyle Lowry might have gone. Was Philly.
Go back home.
Exactly.
I follow Kyle Lowry's mom on Twitter, and she live tweets every Raptors game.
What?
Really? Oh yeah. She's like a massive fan.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Like, she live tweets more Raptors games than Heat games.
Maybe we should get her on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? And then at the end of the third quarter, OG gets that sidestep three.
That's right. Yeah.
Super nice. So heading into the fourth quarter, to start it off, we got that lob from Gary to Chris, starting the fourth. Then Chris gets a block, and I wrote down that Chris was playing. I mean, we could talk about this more, but just to touch on it briefly, I thought Chris was playing better because his first thought wasn't shoot when he got the ball.
He was playing within the offense.
That's literally all it takes.
Yeah.
So we had a big three from Gary. Then Gary caused a turnover and then a dunk for Chris. You guys remember that Chris dunk? And Gary caused that turnover, which was really proud of him. Lots of smart plays. Chris with a block on Niang.
Oh,
yes, remember that one?
Yep.
Slapped his shit. Fred with that bank three at 6:13. OG steal and dunk at 5:20. So this is one of the bigger plays. So Svi deflects the ball to Fred, who then gives it to Gary, and Gary misses the three. Then it's rebounded by Svi, who gives it back to Gary. And then instead of shooting it again, Gary passes it to OG, who makes the three. And that was awesome teamwork and recognition by everybody.
Yep.
Respect to Gary for giving it up, because he is that guy who's supposed to take that shot. And I think Nick Nurse wouldn't have been pissed off if Gary did take that.
No, much smarter shot. It's wide open.
Exactly. Yep. And what he chose to do was to kick it was to move the ball, and then it ended up in OG taking a three. And you know what? Because Gary's thinking in that, it's like, okay, I didn't hit this one. Might as well give it to OG.
Yep.
And he's open too.
Trade a
And
good shot for a great shot.
exactly. It was textbook, man. Textbook. And then, this was the weird thing. Do you guys remember that weird illegal blocked shot?
Yes.
What the fuck was that? And it ended up in a jump ball at center court.
Between Precious and Drummond?
Yeah, what
They called it an illegal block shot.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand what that call was.
No,
I'm trying to remember exactly.
So it was like pinned up against the backboard, but it was supposed to be a foul, right? So then Precious would head to the free throw line, and then it ended up being, they called it, so they did call it they didn't call it a foul, but they called it an illegal blocked shot. I don't even know what that means. What the fuck is an illegal blocked shot?
Isn't that just like a blocking or a foul?
Yeah, but,
like,
but that's the thing. But the weird thing is it ended up in a jump ball at center court.
Do you have a timestamp for it?
No, but it should be somewhere between 4 minutes and 1 minute.
I want to see what it says on here, what it was.
Somewhere between there.
That's interesting.
I was so confused.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is an illegal blocked shot? And why does it, and not only that, but so it was down at the Philly side of the court, right? So the Raptors are trying to score. And if you're going to call
center
it,
court.
yeah, if you're going to call a jump ball, why was it called to the center? Why wasn't it called?
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like the same kind of thing as like an inadvertent whistle or something. Like the ref just, I don't know.
I have no idea, but I remember that was like super, super weird. Then there was at 110 a crazy corner three by Gary. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah,
that
fading
corner
corner.
three. That was
Drained it.
insane.
Yep.
That was a big shot for us. And then of course, and the thing is OG did the same thing twice. He dribbled in, kicked it out to the corner, made the Gary,
right play.
and then he did it again with Fred for the big
Wide
ball
open.
shot, the big cojones right there.
And it rattled in.
$15,000
Yeah, the
fine shot.
$15,000 shot.
It was worth it.
And
totally worth it.
I just wrote down it was almost the exact same play as Gary's three. So and then there was a big block by Scotty on Tobias.
Right.
Yeah. So that was like, whew.
Fun. It was a fun ending.
Showing up.
Really fun ending to the game.
So final ended up being 115-109 for us, but it was really close down the stretch.
Yeah,
it was. We can't act like we had the lead this entire game.
I was nervous the entire game.
Me too. I was on the
entire
edge of
game
my
was
seat.
back and forth.
I was never confident.
Yeah, it was a interesting game.
Wasn't a feel good win really. Like,
No. Okay, so then we'll move on. So who's next? Elias?
Wait,
Did you find that illegal block
I'm
shot?
looking. I think I just found it.
Okay,
So it says Miss Achua dunk, and then it says at the same time Drummond block.
So I wonder if they changed after
Then
the
it
fact.
says then it says Raptors rebound, Sixers timeout, jump ball between Drummond and Achua.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird.
Because I remember
I guess he won it. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I thought we
interesting.
lost it, but
Yeah, weird one.
weird call.
anyway.
Super, super strange.
Pistons.
Yes. So I'm good. You're done.
Yes.
All right.
So you're finished.
Finally. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna stop saying I think we'll dominate this team because first time we said that was against Orlando, we only won by 1.
Yeah.
Then we said that against Cleveland, we lost against Cleveland. And then last week we said I think Detroit will be easy.
Yeah.
We lost to Detroit.
The curse, the Elias
No,
curse.
but to be honest though, I do remember thinking to myself like, and I think that people underestimate Detroit.
You said this on the podcast, so we were like, "Oh, it's gonna be we should win this
Yeah.
game," and you're like, "Oh, don't." Go
And then
too
I was
far."
like, they're 1-8, bro. Chill.
because shout out to Will Upton because he was talking about how Cade Cunningham came in late and he really needed a couple games to show his stuff, and now he's really getting into the groove of the Pistons.
He didn't
man.
have a great game that game.
Good
He didn't,
finish,
have, a, he
though,
didn't have a
but he
super
killed
great
us down the
game.
stretch.
He had a nice fourth quarter.
But I think it was more. It's not like he was doing a ton, but it was the stuff that doesn't go on the stat sheet that he was doing. It was
no, he was being a
creation, you know.
leader.
It was
his
being
defense was really good.
exactly. He was making those. I remember who was it? Was it Jack or something or Matt talking about. Or said Dwayne Casey said that he has very Kyle Lowry-esque.
He's not that. He was getting killed for that, but I don't really see what he's like a winner type player.
I think people just think he's probably going to be better than Kyle Lowry, but I think at the same time, people don't know enough about Kyle Lowry and what he actually contributed to the Raptors because they don't give the Raptors any press.
Yeah, that's a compliment.
Okay, so go ahead here, Elias.
So we started out with like a minute and a half into the game, down 8-0, really quick to Detroit. They had a quick 8-0 run, and that was fine. That happens a lot. I wasn't thinking too much about that. Gary had a 5 for 6 first quarter shooting.
Yeah, man. Whew. He did start that game hot.
He did. And Banton had Delano had a steal. I think it was a steal. And then he went it was a rebound. Then he went coast to coast, had it behind the back, then gave it to Shea for the N1. Transition defense seemed kind of slow.
Delano just like pulls those moves out of nowhere.
I know, man.
So confident. One game,
dude, and they were really pressuring Delano that game with the ball too, like because they knew he was supposed to be the
nervous rookie,
right, and the liability when it comes to ball handling, right, and he held his own, dude.
Oh, he sure did. He had 12 points this game.
Respect.
Yeah, so something else I noticed. So Siakam's back in the lineup, by the way, in this game, but no Van Vliet and no Achua. So Dragic started. I noticed a lot of ISO again, which is I think that's still just trying to gel with Siakam as just everybody's trying to figure themselves out. So that was something I didn't like that I noticed. But we finished the quarter up by 3. We still allowed Detroit to have 31 points in the first quarter, which is not good. But it is what it is. Next quarter, Detroit was scoring so easily, way too easily. The lane was open the entire game.
So frustrating.
Their threes were wide open, and they don't have great shooters in the starting lineup. They have Sadiq Bey, who's a good shooter.
But he struggled this year.
And he has struggled this year. And Jeremy Grant's all right. And those two are open all game, especially Sadiq Bey.
He was going off.
He was. He had a good
going
game.
off.
Everything was.
But the
so
thing
easy
is
for
that
them.
man, like. I want to say under normal circumstances where we're actually playing good defense, though he's not going to make those shots. There's no way. We'd let them wide.
They're wide open all game. And it's Detroit.
Open.
These guys are still NBA players, but it shouldn't be that hard to just close them out.
No.
We're being way too aggressive on defense, like for a team against Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, in general we are, but especially against Detroit, where it's so let them make mistakes because that's who they are. They're Detroit. They're so young. They're going to make their own mistakes, and we're trying to force everything way too hard.
Definitely, I agree.
So that's something I noticed. There's a nice play where Scotty got a touch rebound, touched it to Pascal, and Pascal had a real good look ahead to Svi for the transition bucket.
Yep.
And so the reffing was very inconsistent this game. And I just wrote this down that Matt is very upset. He got, I forget. Oh, this is the OG call, I think. So OG went into the lane and he got called for an offensive foul because he brought his knee up.
Dude,
this made me so
that
mad.
call was,
I don't understand this call because what is he supposed to do?
When you learn to do a layup, you learn.
He moved his leg to the side too to avoid the offensive foul.
Barely. Okay, but the thing was this, the way you learn to shoot and to make a layup is that your elbow and your knee are attached by a string, right?
Yes, right.
So you go 1, 2, up.
Yes.
These both come up. That's exactly what OG did.
I would understand it if he fully put his knee out, but he just did a normal layup.
Dude, he didn't. That's what I'm saying is that before he made contact, you can see in the video that he tries to move his knee to avoid the contact.
He feels it coming. He's like, oh, I'll move it a little
exactly.
bit.
Oh my God, that call pissed me off.
They still called it an offensive foul. And then they reviewed it too, didn't they?
They challenged it. They challenged
and
the
they
call.
still,
That was that early challenge.
And it was still an offensive foul.
Yeah.
Horrible. That made me so mad.
Oh man, I was pissed off.
Anyway, so we go down. We go into the half down by 1. Something Jack said coming into the second half that I found I liked a lot that he said is that because we've been bad at home so far, but way better on the road, right? And this is what Jack said: young teams perform at home and compete on the road, which I think is super true.
And that goes through with us and Detroit.
Yeah, but he was referring to us.
Yeah.
Where at the time we're 2-6 at home, 5-1 on the road. We're a young team, so at home we're trying to entertain. We're trying to make the flashy plays. We're trying to get the crowd hyped up. On the road where there's no fans, you're just trying to compete and win, and that's exactly what's been happening, I think. And so I think it was a really interesting thing he said. So I just said. They call it offensive on OG. How, bro? Reffing is so... Anyway.
So I'm saying AI refs, man. We got to bring in the AI refs. Fuck these people, man. Fuck.
So, interior defense battle game, but Ken Birch came in and had a really nice third quarter interior for defense, which was nice. So our offense is rolling. I have this really right in order. I have offenses rolling, and then right after that, I have Barnes call for travel. So our offense, we were hitting multiple shots in a row. We had like 4 or 5 shots in a row that we made. and then they called Scotty for a travel. And then I saw a replay. It was not a travel.
Yeah, it was the
you know what
pivot
I'm talking
foot
about?
thing.
Yeah,
I remember
he
that.
didn't move his pivot foot at all.
There's so much traveling in the NBA, and they called that.
They called that. And then Scotty, I think that's when Scotty no, that was the other game.
No, that's my game.
Did he get a tech for that?
He
No,
did
he got tech yesterday.
No, he also got a tech in Detroit.
Yeah, he said he had back-to-back techs in games, but in this game,
And I'm sure Nick Nurse is not even pissed. Like,
I think
he's just like, dude,
no.
what the fuck?
I think he just wouldn't. I think he was like, "What are you talking about?" He didn't do anything, and then he
Rookies
got a
get
tech,
quick tees too.
and then he got a tech.
Yeah.
And Scotty Barnes is like nice guy of all time. Like,
I remember
anyway,
that.
so-
That was a bunch of bullshit too, man.
So that really killed our momentum, and then right after that, back-to-back turnovers led to back-to-back Isaiah Stewart buckets. Not great. Banton had a nice steal and a dunk in transition. It's good to see. And yeah, we go into the fourth quarter, and so it was really back and forth, and I felt too comfortable watching this game. I was like, "Oh, we're fine, it's Detroit."
Yeah.
I think they felt the exact same
I
way.
was comfortable then to like a minute and a half.
I know exactly.
to be honest, though, our lead was never huge.
No, it
We
wasn't.
never
No, it
even-
wasn't.
Yeah.
I was never like worried. Like if it was like if against Portland, I was like I was on edge all game because Portland. But Detroit, I was like, it's fine. It's Detroit. We'll win. Anyway, so then we started getting pretty sloppy and just overthinking everything.
Yeah.
There's one play with Pascal where he had Frank Jackson guarding him, and for people that are watching, Frank Jackson is a horrible defender.
He's just not a good player.
No, he's not a good NBA player at all. He had a good game against us, though, so I can't say much.
Yeah.
But his defense is not good at all. He's like 6'2", and he's guarding Pascal down low. And Pascal shot a post fade, and he missed over him. And he got right down low, too, and he didn't. I just wish he went straight up. And there's just small things like that are bothering me right now with this team recently.
To be honest, though, I mean, we'll talk about this. Actually, never mind. I'll go for it. Go for it.
Okay.
I'll talk about this or game thoughts.
And another thing with Pascal. So I want to say Pascal had a really good game. I thought a really good game. I really liked what I saw out of him. But again, the fourth quarter, he had a couple of turnovers pretty close to it. He wasn't taking care of the ball. They just stripped it from like 2 times in 4 possessions. Killian Hayes had like
that did really piss me off. I remember that they
about it.
stripped it from Pascal
Yeah, it was like
twice. I'm like, Pascal, man.
yeah,
fuck.
he's not taking care of the ball. He's
No,
not, he's
man.
not, he's
and
not,
they're doubling him, man. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, give the ball up, man. Like, you know they're doubling you, too. Like,
Killian Hayes had the game of his life. He had 8 points in the fourth
Right.
quarter
Back
against
to
us,
back
and so
corner
did Cade.
Yeah.
oh, my God. The
had,
amount
like-
of threes in that one stretch. When was that?
It was in the fourth quarter.
Fourth
No,
quarter.
yeah, no, I know it was in the fourth quarter, but it was in the middle
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
near
it was,
the end.
it was like between 5 and 2
Yeah,
minutes.
5 and
kind
2,
of thing.
something like that. And I just remember watching and being like, they made how many threes they made? Like 4 or 5 threes. And I was just like,
And
yo.
it's Killian Hayes and Cade cutting.
I'm like,
Grant.
dude,
Guys have
what
not
the
shot well.
fuck, man?
They made
pissed me off.
They made 6 threes in the fourth,
Yeah.
I was
and they-
so disappointed. I
and
was
they missed-
very disappointed in the boys.
and they missed 2.
Yeah, and but just not taking care of the ball, and again, they didn't have a sense of urgency because we're playing against Detroit, and we ended up losing the game 127 to 121.
Oh my god.
So we allowed
Big oofs.
the day back to Detroit played back to back. We were the second night back to back for them. They played Cleveland the night before. They scored 78 points against Cleveland.
Wow.
And they scored 127
that just
points
goes
against
to show how
us.
horrible our defense was that
Defense
game.
So bad.
So
The worst-
fucking bad.
Okay, so I said this to you guys. That was the worst defense I've seen out of our team all season,
Yeah.
but some of the best offense I've seen of our season.
I
Well,
agree.
this,
Pascal's defense, by the way,
it's really bad.
horrible. So
But
bad.
we'll get into this later. But it actually makes me. I'm kind of glad that's the case. Well, I'm not glad that's the case, but I'm glad it's not the other way around.
Okay, yes, I know
So-
what you mean. Yeah.
But our
defense is easy to work on.
that
but-
trend didn't really let up until into the next game here when the Raptors played Portland.
fuck.
Very similar game, just against a better opponent.
I was so mad.
The
in
first
this
quarter,
game.
though, we came out like humming.
Yes.
OG and Pascal combined for 6 threes together. And the
I
Raptors,
think Gary was hitting shots
yep,
too.
The Raptors as a whole were 7 for 11 from 3 to start. In that first quarter, we actually started off on a 13-3 run.
Right.
And we were leading 33-24 after
Didn't
the
they
first.
take a timeout too?
Yeah, and then they came back, but we were still up 33-24. And it was just like a really good cohesive, like Pascal and OG just leading us that first quarter. And it was really nice to see. And the defense was pretty locked in, like the only time it was locked in all game. And it was really only locked in for that first like 3-4 minutes. But and yeah, so in the second quarter started and Portland started on a 6-0 run. And the defense just really started to slip. The biggest theme from this game was They were good individual defensive plays, but as a whole,
Yes.
like we could not contain the dribble.
No,
Like we're gonna get into this
man.
later, but we couldn't contain the dribble penetration. That was just letting like aren't playing really any bigs,
Yeah.
and that was letting our guys down there to dry. The Raptors offense though, like in that first half, was really clicking. Like we scored 60 points in that first half.
Mhm,
And-
right.
Sexy. It was so sexy.
And it was like confident. Like we were seeing Pascal and Scotty working together, and OG was just playing like he wasn't taking up a lot of the offense, and neither was Pascal or Scotty. Like guys were getting their buckets.
It was really
within
even.
the flow.
It was really even, which was really nice to see with Pascal.
And honestly, all game that was the case. But in that first quarter or first half especially, I thought Kem Birch had a good first half. Second half, I think his knee's still bothering him.
Yeah.
But that first half was really good. So we were down 61-60 at the half.
Yes,
The third
fuck.
quarter, the defense just gave away. That third quarter, what were the numbers here for Portland? The second quarter, Portland scored 37. And that third quarter was just it was just a hard watch that whole quarter. I was just like
That game was hard to watch in general.
Oh
man.
man, it was just what in the world was happening?
Frustrating.
I mean,
And
not that there's not good things to take away
No,
from
no,
all the
no,
last
no,
games
no.
that we
Yeah,
wouldn't watch.
there's just
right?
a lot of bad things.
There's a lot of that, especially defensively.
The third quarter, the end of the third quarter, I think Malachi came in at the 39-second mark to go in the third. He gets to the line, goes 1 for 2 from the hits the first free throw, misses the second, gets his own rebound somehow, dribbles it out, and just like it was just it was like good and bad at the same time because he wasn't giving it. I think he was on the court with OG at the time. OG's calling for it to run the clock down and get a bucket. Malachi's just taking it and he's going like he's gonna get a shot somehow. I think he took a 3, missed it, got the offensive rebound back, and then dribbled in and
Right.
got a layup.
Yeah,
So
yes.
Malachi with
Yeah.
like the most
Redemption
chaotic
play.
Malachi with the most chaotic 39 seconds I've
Says
seen.
right
And
here.
ends in a 3-0 run though.
Malachi 1 minute 21 seconds, 2 offensive rebounds. in the
Let's
third quarter.
go.
Yeah, and the Raptors were it was a tie game, sorry, going into the fourth quarter.
Do you guys think we were gonna win after the end of the third?
No.
Okay, me neither.
No, because we don't. Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
we don't
fourth
have
quarter.
Damian Lillard, and they
Yeah.
do.
The fourth quarter, Portland started off on a 10-0 run, and Dame and CJ as much as you want to criticize them on the defensive end, like their shot making on the offensive end is like really
Top
good.
tier.
Like really really good. And if Robert Covington is hitting shots and Anthony Simon's hitting shots, like they're a hard offensive team to stop, and it doesn't help the Raptors were playing no defense in the fourth quarter.
Nas Little too.
Nas
Had some
Little,
big buckets.
yeah, good game. And so the defense was non-existent, and we really dug ourselves a hole in that beginning of the fourth quarter. Fred VanVleet almost brought us back. He had like a crazy,
Yeah,
like
Just
his
man.
dribbled
11
back
point,
out and pulled out.
he had a crazy like 11-point stretch with like a tough layup and 3 like super contested like pull-up threes.
Matt was going crazy.
Oh my god! And it was
He was
just
like, Fred.
I was like, and then we showed our age at the end. It was just really sloppy. Like Scotty Barnes like really had a big rookie moment in the fourth quarter. He was struggling with about basically everything, and sloppy execution and bad defense. And Portland's a veteran team; they're going to take advantage of that. And the Raptors lose 118-113.
Yeah. One quick thing to mention. I'm the Trailblazers are like my second favorite team.
Right.
And I love Damian Lillard, and I have to say that it was nice to see him hitting shots a little bit.
One of his first good games. Of the year.
And I feel like I hope this is the start of an upward trajectory for him because I mean, I think like over the years, like he's just, I mean, maybe he's not the best defensive player, but offensive player, he's
But
dominant.
he's
you know
one
what
of-
I mean?
He's one of the
He's like
best
the-
all time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I respect Damian Lillard so much, and I feel like if there's a player that I've tried to model my own game after, I was like I've tried to watch Damian Lillard play
Sure.
because I just love the way he moves around on
Yeah.
the court and love the decisions that he makes, and it's nice to see him making shots even though.
That's why I
and
see
to
you
be
drain
honest-
all those deep threes all the time.
Yeah, exactly. and that's, you know what? It's nice to see him playing better. Even though, and I'm not even mad this game because
I'm so mad.
well, just because I know we're such a young team, and I know
Yeah.
this is not the extent of what the Raptors
No.
are, right?
No,
so
No, I was much more mad at the Pistons game.
yeah.
Really, I was so mad this game. I was so mad at the end of it. Too.
Well, I've been trying. Yeah, you were super pissed off in the chat, but I think I try to keep myself in a mindset of like, I know we're better than this. And this is every no matter what sport you're talking about, but there is trial and tribulation no matter where you go
The
with
thing that
anything.
made me just most up is this how bad we played defense against Detroit.
Yeah.
And how it carried over to this game.
Absolutely.
It's like
Yeah.
nothing
No
changed
But
defensively.
you know what,
and it
man?
was
Like
so
at
annoying.
least we're still seeing good things.
Oh yeah, the fact
and-
that we scored we've scored 100 points a lot more recently.
Yes.
Which is huge because
Exactly.
at the half court offense looked a lot better since Pascal's been back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back around game thoughts.
Yeah, sure.
So what I have for the Philly game is I think Chris did great.
His best
man.
game of the year.
I think Chris
his
did
only good game of the year.
exactly what we want him to do. Exactly. He hit like 1-3 and it was wide open.
Yep.
We
You
love to
know,
see it though.
Exactly. I think he took another 3 but missed it
Lot
too. And
of-
it was a
one-
little
one
bit
for
more
three.
contested. Yeah.
That's fine though.
Yeah.
I think we played well as a team during that game. I think because even though we're playing bad defense and we are still creating on offense, but we're not getting frustrated with each other. We're still communicating. You know, we're still having faith in each other, and I think that's great. We're still being generous with the ball and trusting each other as teammates. Fred and Gary's shooting was amazing.
Oh.
Fred was insane.
Just
this game,
ridiculous,
dude.
man. Like
Insane.
because Fred honestly wasn't really making those shots 2 years ago. So
He wasn't as confident.
No,
Like that, like-
and he wasn't that role player, right? Like there was Kyle out there doing that sort of stuff, and now Fred, seeing him step into the spotlight like this at 27 years old, being the quote unquote veteran on the team. It's amazing. It's so cool to see that, and he's actually hitting these shots now, like consistently. Which is great.
Fred kept us in the game. Like this is a blow to Fred. His first quarter, he had 15 points, and he like totally settled us down because it looked really choppy. Well, the whole game was really choppy, and Fred was kind of always there as that stabilizing force throughout the game, whether it be that last shot down the stretch or like coming out of the gates. Like, okay, I'm gonna go get 15, 3 assists. Like we lose that game, like we get killed that game without Fred. Just the presence he has on the floor, if you're especially missing Pascal and Cam Birch, the 2 other like steady veterans. Like he totally just settled the team down.
And to be honest, Fred, I know you like him off ball, but to be honest, he's good both ways.
Oh,
man.
yeah,
like,
he is.
that's
He
why
is.
he's such a threat. Because when he is off ball, people forget that he's a threat off
That's what
ball.
I'm saying. That's why I like him off ball, and also him being off ball gives like Scotty more
Yes.
opportunity. He's better on ball. He's clearly
It's
better.
true.
on
And if we
ball,
want
stuff like
Scotty
that.
to be kind of the archetypal point guard player that like him and Delano are sort of what
Yeah.
we're looking for, then we want Scotty to have those possessions as
Yeah.
the main.
Yeah. I like
handler.
Fred as this off ball more for the team's sake.
Yeah. But Fred still is the best
Oh, yeah.
creator
Oh.
on the team by far, like for other teammates.
Yes.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Playmaker,
Like,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
playmaker.
yes. Yeah.
Like he is that guy. So we do need him with the ball.
Yeah.
Um,
Tyrese Maxey had 33 points. this
dude,
game.
I have it written down.
That's
I wrote
crazy.
shout out to Tyrese Maxey who just
Bro,
destroyed us,
we
man. He
could
torched
not-
us out there, dude.
Our perimeter defense was so bad against him. He was getting into the floater range and the mid range so
many
easily.
layups on us
So
with it. It was
many
just like-
layups.
I don't think we tried that hard against him because we saw
No.
Tyrese Maxey had 15 points.
He was. I mean,
But-
as much as like I love Fred, his defense in the Philly game and the
Not good.
Portland game, like he was having a lot of trouble containing the dribble.
not good.
Yeah, which is very unlike him. So I'm not that worried, but just unlike him.
I think Precious did a good job as well. I think he had
His
a lot
defense
of
was
defensive
really
play,
good.
really
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
defensive plays.
I
I want
to talk about Precious a little bit because I'm so back and forth on him, dude. Like he had a very good defensive game and his stats look good. He was also 1 for 10 from the field.
I know
Like,
he did, but he was. The thing is that it's like okay, well, those are 2 very different sides of the court,
Yeah.
right? Defense is very different from offense, and what Precious can do on defense is very different than what he can
But
do
like
on
I'm
offense.
just saying, like, does that make up for how bad his offense is? Like his offense.
No,
is
absolutely. I don't.
horrible.
At this point, I don't necessarily think it does. Maybe it depends on the lineup.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's not the main guy who you want taking shots anyways.
No,
but
but
you, like for
just-
example, one area where he is a liability, and we've talked about this before, is his screens. He doesn't set very good screens.
No, he's a really bad. He always slips.
especially compared to Birch. Birch
Yeah.
is
Really
tiny
solid
in screens.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, well, if we do need you on offense, like if we need you on defense,
Yeah.
what we're gonna have to get from you producing at the offensive side is good screens
And offensive
man.
rebounds.
And offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what we need you to do, right? Like we
yeah.
don't need you to be that guy who's going like, why are you taking 10 shots anyways? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like that's
And if the 10 shots were just like he just missed some bunnies, then okay, you can forgive that. But like
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like when he's like running the ball up in transition, like get it to a ball handler,
yeah, like-
Yeah.
run the court, and it'll be a way easier shot for you if you're running the court, or
Mm-hmm.
your teammate's gonna have an easy.
No, you're absolutely right. I
path to the
hate
rim.
when he
But
does
you know,
that,
I
man.
definitely think it has to do a lot with how Precious has played pre and outside of the NBA, because I think on like just an example, playing for Nigeria, like he's the main guy on the Nigerian team.
Yeah,
like
he gets a lot of reps.
Exactly.
And then even summer league, he was doing the exact thing he's doing now in summer league, but he's like, was working.
Exactly.
And he's also in summer league, you're more athletic than everyone. In the NBA, like everyone's really athletic, right? So
exactly. I think he's got to adjust to that.
Yeah.
And they know this too.
Yeah.
They know
Yep.
this. There was nobody who I had like any huge complaints about, to be honest. I think just our defense isn't entirely sucked. But like, do I think there wasn't good defensive plays? And no, like, absolutely. And do I think there was one person particularly lacking on defense? Not really. I think we all were playing pretty shitty. I think it was a very gritty game overall.
It was not like an enjoyable watch.
No, it was a fight to the death type game.
Yeah.
Exactly. But here's some interesting statistics I wanted to bring up from this game. So Fred, OG, Scotty, Gary, Chris, and Svi all shot above 40%, with Chris being actually 7 of 12 from the field, which is pretty good.
How many dunks did you have?
I don't know how many dunks. I didn't get that one down. But and even saying, okay, so I'm saying above 40% from the field, but there was a lot of high 40s in that. And that's Fred, OG, Scotty, Gary, Chris, and that's 6 guys who are all shooting over 40% that game from the field.
50%.
Exactly, which is
not
fucking
normal
awesome.
for Fred, so that's really nice to see.
Yeah.
Fred shot 54% from 3.
Imagine 5'3" and shooting 50% in the NBA. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
He's always like flirting with the 30s. So.
I said 5'3".
Oh, he's getting shorter again.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Sorry, I missed that.
He lost
That's
the
fine.
5
My
inches.
jokes is ruined. It's fine.
I didn't hear that. Sorry, I thought you said something 50 from
Keep talking.
3
It's fine.
or
It's
5
fine.
from
I'm
3.
over.
So 54% from 3, 6 of 11 for Fred. OG was 50% from 3. It was only 2 of 4, but still. And Gary was 44% from 3, 4 of 9. Man, like perfect, man. We want Gary. Like, okay,
those are your 3 shooters.
Exactly. So that was awesome. And then Gary had 2 steals that game. Great. Good for Gary. Awesome. I think any game where he's getting steals, I think that's like supplementing his defense, you know?
Sure.
Precious had 2 steals and 3 blocks this game.
Precious. Yeah, he has a nice blocks against Drummond.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. And,
I mean, that isn't like Drummond's a pretty bad player around the basket, but still, it's pretty impressive to get.
And he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Right? And especially because we don't have a traditional center, too.
No.
I think Chris for this game is the guy who stood out to me, right? He had 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks in only 24 minutes. That's the thing, right? Is that he only played 24 minutes. So he played like half the game.
Yep.
Right? So
he was running the
we're
floor.
getting Fred playing 40 minutes a game. Like he played 40 minutes, I think.
He's going to get hurt. So I mean, he gets
This
hurt
is why
every year.
I honestly want to start incorporating Malachi in more, but
not
whatever.
he plays like I was playing.
But that's because he doesn't get any minutes, man.
That's
like,
true.
Can't get into a flow.
Yeah.
Especially when Fred, like the Detroit game, I don't know why he didn't get more minutes.
I don't know, man.
he
I
got
think
blown
maybe
by
because he's been on the team for longer than somebody like Delano, so I feel like they're trying to
But not
maybe
that long. You know? Like he's
I
only been here
guess.
for he's only
Next
played
year.
like what, like
His
30
rookie
or
was
40
his
games.
rookie last year.
Yeah, I guess.
It's just weird, yeah.
But him and Malachi are the same age, so maybe he's trying to get more reps in because Malachi did get a lot of reps last year.
Yeah.
You
he did.
know?
But they're good reps too. That's why I'm surprised. But anyway, it is what it is.
And then again, shout out to Tyrese Maxey because he fucking torched us.
Yeah, he killed
So
us.
that's all I have written for my game thoughts for
You covered all my thoughts, man.
Me too.
Yeah.
So
now to the
else?
depressing games.
Yeah.
Yeah, Detroit. Okay, so very annoying game. So I'm gonna start by saying we were 20 for 31 from the free throw line this game.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
And you should still be able to beat Detroit going 20 for 31.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, as much as I want to complain about the reffing, we were given so many opportunities that game.
Yeah.
And we missed 11
Yeah,
free
they didn't
throws.
lose because of the reffing.
Something I want to start off by saying though is that I'm really happy with how Pascal played this game.
definitely,
Offensively,
yeah.
I'm really happy with the offense this game. The offense looked great, and like I've been worried because last week we slandered Pascal a bit.
We did get
did,
Pascal.
yeah.
But you know what, to me,
I
man?
didn't.
He fucking
he
deserved
deserved
it,
it last
man.
week.
Yeah,
He was
he
bad last
absolutely
week.
deserved
Did
it.
he though? He didn't
Yes,
just come
he
back.
Yeah, but to be honest, man, like
made
it was the low IQ plays
yeah.
that he was making.
He had like 3 turnovers in like 2 minutes.
That's
one game
true.
or
That's
something.
true.
and
Okay.
that's what pissed us off. It was
Yeah.
because
Like the best player should not be doing that.
did Will Lou not fucking tear into him too?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry.
I said
No, he
I'm not tearing into
No.
Pascal for another 2 weeks. Or no, I'm not tearing into him until he plays bad, but
I am.
Well, it was just one of those things. It was like, okay, well, if we look at this in context, like Pascal is supposed to be the main guy on the team, right? Like, I mean, it's not necessarily we want him on the main guy on the team, but he's supposed to be that guy. So you expect him to come back in, even if he doesn't score a whole lot. You do expect certain things from him that are supposed to be consistent as an NBA player.
He only scored 7 points against Boston and had like 4 turnovers.
yeah, but he only took 7 shots.
Yeah, we should take more shots. You know what I mean? Like, anyway,
He was awesome.
he was amazing this game. He had.
He took our advice.
Yeah.
Like
He watched the pod. He was like, man, I haven't bad. You're right, guys.
What we did tell him to do in the podcast was you need to start taking a back seat. You need to start flowing into the offense and trusting your
game come to
guys.
you.
Yes, exactly.
And that's exactly what he did.
Alvin Williams said this too. He was talking about Pascal, and I wrote this down. He said that you can't force the game to yourself. You've got to let the game
And that was the whole.
come to
He
you.
did it all year last year.
Exactly.
He was forced the entire time.
100%,
He
which
was
is so
He
nice.
was trying so hard to be the Pascal he was that All-Star year.
And they had no talent around him last year, too. So
no,
just,
but that's the thing is that what we saw differently from Pascal in this game was the fact that, and Jack and Matt both made a comment about this, was that he was giving the ball to Gary. He's giving the ball to Svi.
Yep.
He's giving the ball to these guys.
Clearly trusting them.
Exactly.
And then he's getting it back.
And that's what's making the
And
difference.
He's being more of a leader too. It was like I forget who it was, Delano, or it was like a role player, like not a starter, who made a mistake or something, and he went and put his arm around him and started talking to them during.
Oh yes, it was Delano. It was Delano because Delano made it. It was a foul, but it was a dumb call, I think, and it. But I remember Pascal was.
And it's
talking
like I've never seen him do
about
that before.
And-
He's like really
Yeah.
becoming a leader.
I think Pascal's burst looks really good.
Yeah,
Like, I
his
think you can
first
see
step,
because his
yeah.
arm's been like it was an arm
Yeah.
injury, right? So he's been working on
His
like,
shoulders.
athleticism.
3-point
Yeah.
shots looking good,
and
too.
Oh, he had that one top of the key 3, like that deep top of the key 3, like that looked.
Yeah.
And down the
Yeah,
stretch,
yeah.
he had one
Smooth.
where like a jab step, like he just looked. His
He looked
3-point shot
comfortable.
looks
He
really.
looks. He looks real comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that mid-range shot
and confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that mid-range shot really developed last year, and it's looked awesome in these last 2 games this week that he played. Like,
Yeah.
he looked really. And I like that I love that 1-and-1 he had against Sadiq Bey down the stretch.
Yeah.
Oh
The only thing you can, like, the defense we'll get into later about him, but I mean the free throws, but like whatever.
Pascal
that
Pascal shot pretty good from the free throw line. I'm pretty sure.
Not that the Detroit game. He was 5 for 9 in the
He
Detroit
was
game.
4, yeah.
The whole team though, 20 for 31.
But yeah,
like I
and
mentioned, but-
that shouldn't like. There's a bigger issue. Is that why we're?
Yeah.
You know, like you should still be able to beat Detroit.
You should be able to shoot 10 for 31 and still beat Detroit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Pascal. So he had 25 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists this game. It was something else huge with this game. So we just mentioned how everybody's just playing equally, right? There's not a standout guy, which is what we want.
Yeah.
This game, Gary shot 16 shots, Scotty shot 10, OG 14, Pascal 14, Goran
Wow.
12. That's so balanced, right?
Yeah.
I love to see that. From
Yeah,
this
and
team.
that continued on to the next game too.
It did. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we want too, man. Like, because it's so much harder to play defense on teams where everybody can put up shots. So everybody's a threat.
Everyone's a threat.
Everyone's
Exactly.
a threat. And so, and you never know. And Jack talks about this all the time, is that the goal is that, and this is one thing that we were hoping Pascal would fit into, and now I think he's buying into this, is that this is not a team like where you're going to have a Kyrie Irving where he wants like 35 points a night. You know what I mean?
And he can go get it.
And he
can go do
wants
it. And he can go do it, yeah.
exactly. This is not that team. What we want is, shoot, maybe Fred shows up this game, maybe Pascal shows up, maybe Gary, maybe Svi, maybe anybody. It could be literally be anybody.
That's when we're at our best. When
That's
we don't
the
have a certain
goal,
guy.
yeah,
And
that's
even
the-
when we had Kawhi, like we were still a really all-around team, right?
Kawhi sat out for a whole.
He said it was 22
Most-
games.
yeah.
like
a whole bunch of that
But even
season.
when Kawhi was playing too, like there would be games that he'd shoot 15 shots, Pascal would shoot 17, Kawhi would shoot 16.
The
you know what I
only
mean?
time this philosophy though hurts is at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Because in
Yeah.
close games,
We don't have
you
a
almost
closer.
you need like
That's why we have Fred.
and,
That's why we
and
need
And
Fred.
Fred has been doing that lately, but like
But
it's not. You can't trust him to do
you
it. Yeah,
can't
like,
get Fred in isolation against a good defender.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
feel
on
like
a
you need
high-quality
somebody
play.
with a bit more size.
You need like a Jason Tatum.
Yeah, exactly. You need somebody who can really get it done from all areas.
Yeah.
'Cause like you
That's
said, you
that's-
can't trust Fred inside at crucial minutes.
Or like in the mid post, you can't get Fred to look like our two guys that can do that are OG and Pascal, but they're not.
But you
They're not-
maybe,
they're not-
maybe
they're
the
not-
person you
no.
want to look at is Scotty.
I think
eventually.
I think
Eventually.
the,
Not this
Eventually.
year,
No, I'm
though.
not saying not
No.
this year. I'm saying looking forward down the road, this person who you maybe want that person to be
Yeah.
is Scotty.
Or Paulo Banchero. No, we're not gonna be that bad.
I think though, like DeMar DeRozan is legit. It's exactly what you want.
Sure.
That-
Yeah,
for
as a
this season,
closer,
DeMar
yeah.
this season.
Yep.
He's been so good. I want to say that. I love DeMar this season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
But
this
this is what he's doing in Toronto, and now he's getting MVP buzz because
he's
he's in
doing
Chicago
it,
now.
and
He
he's
did this
better.
thing in-
He's better though than he was in. He's a better playmaker than he was in Toronto.
yes, he is. But
Well,
still,
the
just like,
Chicago team is
they're going over his scoring. That's what
Yeah.
they're going crazy.
Yeah,
That's what he's
exactly.
doing in Toronto.
But
Yeah.
see, and that's
He's
the
on that
thing
all the time, yeah.
that I'm so happy to see DeMar doing in Chicago. So Chicago's a very high, they're a scoring team, man. Like they
yeah.
got Zach LaVine, they've got
Vucevic.
Lonzo, they've got DeMar. Like these are scoring guys. These are the three main scoring
Vucevic too.
guys. Exactly. And when you've got those guys on the team, and even you could arguably say Alex Caruso as well. I mean, more so I think his defense is what they really, really appreciate him for.
Kobe White, he averaged like 16 a game.
Yep.
last year.
Exactly, man, and it's a heavily scoring team. That's what it's really really all about there. So
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I think DeMar fits very well with the Chicago
Sure,
team. It's
yeah.
great to see him in Chicago.
Yeah.
I think it was a waste of time on the Spurs.
He got better though. In the
His
Spurs.
playmaking,
Oh, he
his
did.
play,
Yeah,
his
no.
playmaking is so much better than the
I
Spurs.
think so too. I'm just saying that.
Oh, for him,
It's not
though, yeah.
like it's not a successful franchise right now. I don't think
No.
he would want to end his career there.
No, they're
You
not
know?
going. They're a youth movement right now.
Yeah.
Just fine.
Some other big things I wanted to mention. So I want to talk more about the starting lineup because we don't have a center, and I don't think it's working what we're doing right now. Pascal cannot guard five.
how
Scotty
about-
can't guard
let's-
five.
let's table this
okay,
until
but-
the end because this is going to touch on my next.
Okay,
my
Okay,
question.
sure.
Okay.
But something I just want to mention
okay.
is that Isaiah Stewart had a career high against us, and Isaiah Stewart should not be having career highs against us. So
No, he's a good player.
and
He's not
a
even that
si-
big.
No, he's 6'9".
No, he's the same
So,
size as Festua.
That can't. We need to change the upstairs. Pascal,
I have
OG,
some
and Scotty
differing, I have
can't
some
be.
differing thoughts, but
Yeah, we'll get to that one
We'll get
later
it. Yeah,
on,
if you want to table that, we will absolutely table that.
All right, I guess we can go to mine then if you
Yeah.
want.
Yep.
Like I don't have all my takeaways from this game are. I mean, there's not. It's the same themes from the Detroit game. It's containing like what we're gonna get into later. It's containing the dribble drive. One thing I would like to touch on though is, I mean, once again very balanced scoring throughout the game. Once again though, the end of the game offense, a lot of that is just like I love seeing Scotty Barnes just make mistakes because like you're not gonna improve not making mistakes.
And the thing is and I think Jack mentioned this as well, is that when Scotty makes a mistake, you rarely, almost never, I don't think I've ever seen it get down on himself.
no, he gets back on
No.
knee.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's what you love to see. And that's what we talked about at the beginning of this podcast was the inherent, and just beginning of us talking about the Raptors in general, was his inherent energy that is very positive.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
I
very
think
positive.
he knows in his head that he can be a superstar caliber player.
Oh, for sure.
But he doesn't let that affect him in a negative way.
He doesn't get a big
right?
head.
Giannis is the same mindset. We talked about all the free throws he's airballed. He's like, well, you know, like you have to go through that as a star player,
Exactly.
right?
That's how you learn.
And I'm
Everyone's
sure
gone through that.
Scotty, upon criticism of himself, would say, "Yeah, I should be shooting more.
Yeah.
Actually, there's things I should be doing more, and my defense, like you said, off-ball defense is still not great. His defense in general is decent.
I thought his defense
For a
this
20-year-old,
game,
it's
I-
awesome.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
this
is
game
that
I thought.
I think by the end of the season, we're going to see a completely different Scotty Barnes.
It's just recognizing plays, and I thought in the beginning of the game he did a good job on Nurkic, which I was very surprised that he was matched up with him. And then he had a couple like throughout the game, whenever not in the end of the game because he got kind of cooked at the end, but in like the second and third quarter, he had a lot of possessions on primarily CJ. And he did a really good job like navigating the screens and getting over screens, which is like you have to get over the screen on CJ McCollum because he's one of the best pull-up shooters in the league.
Exactly.
And for a guy
And
that's
CJ did make a lot.
oh yeah,
of
I mean
pull-up shots.
he's a great scorer. But Scotty like
It's very sad.
for a 6'9" guy to be able to slip over screens like he did, I thought that was really like I thought that was just like wow, like that's really impressive.
So rare.
You know
No,
what
that's
we
like-
should shout out
so
to?
rare.
Shout out to Norman Powell. He actually played pretty well this game.
Yeah,
right?
Gary
Gary
played him
Gary
though.
played him.
No, Gary.
Yeah.
No, I remember there was lots of talk. Who won the trade? Blah blah blah. I think
Both
Norman.
teams won.
Norman had that's what Norman's been. What he did against us. That's what he's been doing.
Yeah,
Portland.
and that's what Portland wanted though. Is they wanted a guy who's more advanced if they want to make that playoff run, because they know Dame and CJ are getting older, and they know that Gary Trent Jr. is not that guy right now, and he needs to be on a developing team. So they needed a guy like Norman who's going to come in there. He's how old is he's
27?
27? Exactly, more advanced. I think he supplements that Portland team really well.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think I've seen him really shoot it from 3 very much, but I think
he's a good cutter.
Great cutter, and I think he gets a lot of really
he can create his own
gritty
shot.
buckets, and creates his own shot.
So strong and really athletic.
Exactly, and he knows he wasn't expected to be the guy on
third
Portland.
option.
Exactly, and that's who Portland needs right now, and that's who they want. And I think Portland's fine with their decision to get Norman.
Yeah, I think both teams won that trade.
Yeah.
Both teams are at a point in their
we knew
timelines.
Norman was good too.
Yeah. Both teams are at a point in their timeline where the younger player benefited Toronto and the older player benefited Portland.
Exactly.
Something else. Can I bring this up? Do you guys see Cody Zeller's hair?
No.
Oh, is he bald?
No.
Yeah, I thought he was bald.
Well,
balding.
He balding. Dude, it's legit. It's legit, dude. Grandfather is nothing here, but it's all on the sides.
That's what Alex Caruso had there for a while.
Just shave your head, man.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, it's bad.
Are you guys looking at his hair?
Oh yeah, he's
Look at this right here.
Wow, yeah, he's looking old.
Oh my god.
How old is he?
Show him.
He can't even be. I can't. He can't even be 30. Or he might be 30.
No, he's not 30. I don't think.
Man, that is
Cody Zeller hair. I feel like why is this?
He's 29. Wow. Yeah.
Why do I feel like
He's been balding for a while now too.
this is just a personal observation, but why do I feel like it's like all the white dudes in the NBA are bald, or lots of them?
Like,
Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward has some
Gordon
nice hair.
Hayward.
Yeah, well, and so there's a couple select few, but
Mason
there's
Plumlee.
a decent amount of the
Caruso.
white guys in the NBA all are balding, and I'm like,
Yeah. Joe Ingles.
they're just so stressed, hey.
I don't know. Like, I guess they all look old too.
We should find that statistic percentage of white men in the NBA who are balding.
Like they all look way older than they.
And Kevin Love has got a good head of hair on himself,
guess,
and
yeah.
Goran Dragic still does too. But it's not the
It's a big white
it's not
centers.
it's not the
European
European
guys?
guys.
Yeah,
It's the American guys. The American guys are going bald, man. I'm like, what? I guess we have exceptions for Tyler Hero and
give
Tyler
Tyler.
Hero's like 20.
Yeah,
Give
exactly.
Tyler Hero.
Oh man, that's like it's bald in the back and then bald here in the
I
front,
know.
man.
It's like
It's
got a
like
little
a
bridge.
T. It's like
He's got a little bridge.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Just shave
disgusting.
it.
He's got a headband.
Just go bald.
Or
Like here,
headphones.
It looks like he's nothing on top, just all in this.
Yeah.
Cringe.
Cody.
Cringe.
Cody, if you're watching.
That's what we lost. The guys were just like just thrown off by his hair and.
Cody, if you're watching, do yourself a favor, man. Shave it
Explains
all
Man, you
everything.
off.
would think that some of these guys would get onto that. Okay, let's take a little diversion, all right?
I want to talk
I don't-
about hair later, though. I'm
What?
joking.
Well, I don't think it's. If you want to get a hair transplant, I can understand why you'd want to do that. I
LeBron's
think,
basically going.
exactly, man.
I think
And,
I think he did.
Yeah.
Under
he
the
did.
table.
Oh, yeah.
Man, and somebody who shamelessly got a hair transplant was a football player, or he's a commentator now. He just recently he was in the news because he went to watch his son's game. He was in a wheelchair. He's at a. Oh man, I guess it's gonna be blank eyes.
I don't know any old. football
Oh man,
players.
oh fuck, that's pissing me off. Everyone's gonna know who I'm talking about.
John Stamos.
No.
That's all I know.
But anyways, this is NFL ex-NFL player. He's like an announcer or stuff, but he's shamelessly he's like, yeah, I got a hair
wrong
transplant,
with
and it
that.
looks great.
There's
And,
nothing wrong with that.
yeah, I'm like,
I wouldn't judge.
let's stop like shaming
I
people
wouldn't-
for wanting to get a hair
I
transplant.
wouldn't
Like,
judge someone for wearing a wig. So I don't
yeah,
think it
exactly.
doesn't
If you want hair and think it looks better
Yeah.
on yourself, then why not? I want to keep my hair.
Yeah,
Wait,
like-
remember when Carlos
I like
Boozer
my
like
hair.
drew his hair
Yeah,
on?
he like drew his hair on. Yeah,
Remember
Carlos
that?
Boozer.
No,
That looked
Oh,
bad. That
yeah,
looked bad.
'cause it
I
wasn't the
judged.
right-
I
it wasn't the
judged
right
the shit
shade.
out of
But
that.
like
That
the
looked
technology that you
horrible.
have to, it's expensive. I think it's like $5,000 or $6,000 to get like a real
Oh, these guys are rich,
hair
though.
transplant. But
These guys are rich though.
But
Oh,
do you guys
yeah.
okay? Do you guys know who Adam 22 is?
Oh,
From No Jumper?
I think
No.
Oh, that's bad. I've seen that meme.
Yeah.
I've seen that meme. But
I've heard the name.
Adam 22 from No Jumper. He fully admits that he's got a hair transplant, and his hair looks fucking great,
Nothing
man.
wrong with
Like
that.
exactly, like.
Yeah.
Guys,
Cody Zeller,
Zeller,
get
get a
a-
hair
get a hair
transplant.
transplant,
That's
my
not-
guy.
Who cares, man? It's literally your hair. Like, if you want a transplant, great. If you don't want it,
Shave it
fine.
off.
But
Shave it off. Do
Exactly,
yourself a favor.
exactly. Just shave off
does
your
not look good,
freaking
sir.
bald ass head, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my lord. Okay.
Basketball.
Yeah, it's back to basketball. So
Former of the week.
are we? Wait.
Are we done?
Are we
with
finished
Portland?
with the Portland
I've
game?
got my thoughts.
I want to talk about how back and forth it was in the fourth quarter.
Whoa.
It was like
stressful.
10 a run versus 8 a run, then 8 a run, then 7
That's
a run.
true. Oh, we came back real quick.
No,
There was
yeah,
like
that's
4 minutes
twice.
left.
Twice
Yeah.
we did.
Fair
Oh,
heavily, yeah.
unreal. When
Give us 2
I thought
minutes, we're winning
Portland
that
had it
game.
in the bag. I
Yeah.
thought Portland
Me
had
too.
it in
No,
the bag.
after that start of
Like
the
5
quarter,
minutes?
I was like, should I just turn the game off? I was so mad. I was like, should I turn the game off now, bro? Like, and then we came back, and my emotions, dude. I was like, okay, we're gonna do it. Then they went another run. It was emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
man.
It was,
like,
man. It was
what
an
in the
absolute
world was
roller
happening?
coaster.
Yeah.
So
But
mad,
there were
dude.
great things to take away from this game. Final game thoughts, but I just want to say this. Wait, okay, what did we table again?
The defense.
Wait, it was something that you said.
With the center and the defense.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about this right now.
Okay.
Okay. So, what is your thought on this, Elias?
It doesn't work. It clearly does not work, dude. I really would like the idea of putting Gary on the bench. I really, really like that idea
Yeah,
so
I think I'm
much.
there too.
And I start Kem Birch because we're starting.
So you want to start Kem?
I want to go Fred, Scotty, OG, Pascal, Kem.
Okay, interesting.
And I don't see why not, to be honest. I think because
So where would you have Pascal?
at the 4?
Okay.
We don't have a spark plug either off the bench, and Gary would fit that so well. And our
It's
closing
true.
lineup would be our starting lineup now, but we're just not big enough, and it's such a noticeable liability. And like the rebounding, like I mean, I know it's like we talked about this last time, where it's like a philosophy where we don't need to get defensive rebounds, but we need to get more than what we're getting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
It's losing us games, and I think part of the problem with the defense might be it also, but something's got to change. I think that's got to change.
Yeah, that's got to change when we get into the defensive scheme. Like that's got to be part of it. Play a little more conservative and low. Like,
Yeah, 'cause-
the big man to do.
Oh,
its
wait,
job.
were you
That's
saying
exactly it,
table this
because-
until your
Well,
question came around?
it'll be part of my question later on. We'll see.
Oh, okay. So then let's move on then.
Okay,
Okay. Because my question leads into your question
okay,
kind of
yeah.
as well.
Our questions are kind of the same,
Because yeah,
so, yeah.
and I think I'd like to talk with both of you, but I think Sam and I might share some similar ideas about maybe why we disagree with you a little bit there on the
Okay.
on the defensive philosophy.
Sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay. So moving on to performer of the week.
Yep.
I don't have mine written down, but I do have one in my head. But who would like to go for Sam?
I
that's
I went. He only played 2 games, but I went with Pascal.
Of course
Okay.
we did.
I'll say Pascal on the offensive end.
He had a good week.
Yeah, he like his offense in those and like his scoring, his
Yeah.
his passing was really good in the Detroit and the Trailblazers game, and he's really taken like a communal approach to
Backseat.
scoring. Yeah, like
Trending in the
not
direction
even
we
a
want to
backseat,
see.
but like
Well, just
the same.
yeah,
route as
just,
everyone.
yeah.
And it really is promising to me because I know Pascal's defense is going to get back on track when his conditioning, his rhythm is all there. And the fact that his offense has looked really good and his 3-point shot has looked really good is like, that is the stuff I really wanted to see. And the defense, I know he can get there. But yeah, really promising week from him.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a great pick. Pascal, we had a conversation about this, and it was where Pascal is at a crossroads. You know, which direction is he going to
Yeah.
go? Is he going to keep ISOing himself? Is he going to, and that's the thing.
The first 2
he
games
ISO
looked like last season Pascal. That's what
Yeah.
made me so upset because I'm not gonna lie, I hated last season
Yeah,
Pascal.
exactly.
couldn't
And me
watch
too. Me too. It was very frustrating to watch, and I think that's why there was the Nick Nurse Pascal beef, and I wouldn't even say. I think people blew it up bigger than it was. I don't really think
Just
it was
being
that.
guys being competitive.
Yeah, it was, and I think that Nick Nurse was trying to push Pascal, and Pascal was really frustrated with himself and frustrated with Nick saying that he can do better. He's like, I'm trying my hardest. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's one of those sorts of things. But you know, Nick is always dapping up Pascal, and
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's,
no, they're
it's,
fine.
it's friendly. But I like that pick, Sam, just because I'm impressed with Pascal because I think we're seeing what we want to see out of him. Not necessarily on the defensive end. I think he's probably just really tired.
I think so too. Yeah.
But I think we're seeing Pascal's game trending in the right direction. So I'm happy with that.
Yep.
Yeah. My play of the week is Gary Trent Jr. He just had such a solid, consistent week. And something that I love about him is that every time he shoots, I always think it's going to go in.
Yeah.
It's so solid. If it's contested, if it's not, he just takes a smart shot all the time. I just have some stats here. He had 20 points against Philly, 23 against Detroit, 18 against Portland. It's always quiet, too. You never
Within
know
the
he had
offense.
23 points. It's just within the offense.
Yeah.
He gets the ball, he shoots it, he fakes it, pulls up mid-range. Just so consistent. He shot 50% against Portland and Philly, or against Portland and Detroit, and then 7 for 16 against Philly. Did his thing on defense. I thought he was probably the only positive defender I saw this week, every game, like consistent positive defender. He still was just as aggressive as he always is, and I really like seeing that from him. Another reason why I like to see him come off the bench. But yeah, anyway, not much else to say about that. Just really consistent and solid. Yeah.
My pick was also Gary.
Mm-hmm.
I think because the talk last year was that Gary is inconsistent. He's a good shooter, but he can't do it all the
He
time.
had like a 41-point game, then he had a 9-point game or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And man, I think people love to just grab on to headlines and grab onto the first thing that they like to hear and stuff. And, oh, is Gary going to be this or going to be that? And it's like, man, no team in the NBA, well, almost no team in the NBA gets young players to not develop them. You know what I mean? And to not have them turn into amazing players. Yeah. Most guys in the NBA, it's like 80% of the dudes in the NBA have to work really hard to get where they're at.
More than
that,
95%.
Exactly, man. Like
or everyone.
there's a lot of guys who really don't even start showing up until like here's a perfect example is and just because he's Canadian, I just remember him is Trey Lyles. Trey Lyles comes in the NBA. This guy's like scoring 2 points a game. Now he's contributing almost 10 points a game. Solid stat line for
not
Detroit.
Worth Donovan Mitchell though, but
what's that?
Not worth that Donovan Mitchell trade though. But that's what they traded Donovan Mitchell for on draft night.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Denver traded
Lyles.
their rights to that pick for Donovan Mitchell for Trey Lyles.
That's too
straight
bad.
up. But no, yeah.
Trey Lyles is not a bust.
He looks like a
He's
real
not
NBA.
bust.
He looks like a real NBA player.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
He did
And
before.
being from Saskatoon, shout out Trey Lyles. But the only reason why I want to bring him up was just because like there's most of the players that you see in the NBA have to really grind to be good and contribute to the teams, right?
Yeah.
So when you got a guy like Gary Trent Jr. who has that potential, the Raptors are getting him because specifically he has that potential. And it is a perfect storm because Gary believes that he's being chosen because of that potential. So then it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Somebody expects you to be a certain way and get you because of that. And then you also have a faith in yourself that is who you're going to be. And then you get the perfect opportunity to be that guy. And now he starts playing that role.
I love how he's playing within the offense. He's not, because I don't think he needs to go be high usage scorer, and that
he can be some games. Why not?
No,
but he doesn't
like
have
that's
to
not
be.
his role. And
Yeah.
like, that's not when he's at his best. He's at his best when he's attacking advantages created for him in the defense, hitting mid-range shots, hitting the open three.
I think the reason why the Raptors, aside from last year, are always a really good team because we're always thinking ahead. We're always looking at the potential of the players we have, not looking at what they have right now.
Yes.
So we always have a game
We're the
plan
only
for
one
the
of the
future.
only teams, and I think we are kind of the only team. And now other teams are following suit within the last like probably 2 years is getting players up from the 905 and using, because a lot of people have their G League teams, but they don't even pay attention to them.
We utilize our G League team way better than anybody else in the league.
Oh yeah,
way better.
It's like a concerted effort.
Well, and I think that Masai was in Denver before he came to Toronto, and I think that they didn't necessarily really buy into what he was really trying to do. And then as soon as he got to Toronto and he kind of gives this idea, because we weren't really developing players from the 905, in like 2013.
It wasn't a thing until Masai got
No, it wasn't
there.
until
No,
like
it was a Masai
when we
thing.
were first starting to be real fans. Well, I mean, maybe you longer than me and Elias, but it was like 2013 we really started paying attention. It was kind of the
Brooklyn
year.
series, yeah.
Exactly.
That was that year.
Exactly. And
The year before, but yeah.
But the idea was that, even we weren't really doing that. And now Masai comes in with this idea of taking in these players, and it's like, give them these playing time and then give them minutes to because it's when you give G League players a goal that they could set for themselves, right? Something to look forward to, because a lot of G League players, or most of them out there, are playing in the G League and think to themselves like, oh, this is my career.
And now I'm going to
Fred,
Europe.
Exactly.
Fred talked this in an interview I listened to where he used this motivation so much, the G League, where he's like, I don't want to be here. I want to get up there. But the only way I'm going to get up there is to do really well here. That's what happened. And now he's pushing that other G League guys who are like, that's what he said. He said, that's what I'm trying to push in these other younger guys that are down.
He talks to the G League teams a lot.
Yeah, and he like what he said though. He was he's like, I
905
talked to all these young guys that are down on themselves for being in the G League, and I'm saying, no, man, like you got to use that. You got to grind in there. It's part of how it goes. And then
the 905 won the G League championship. Like,
Pascal's year, yeah. Boucher,
like, and they finished. I think
Boucher won MVP of the G League and Defensive Player of the Year.
exactly. It's like the philosophy is that if we start creating a better culture of basketball in every facet of areas where basketball exists, we can now start developing basketball entirely and get everyone better.
Yeah.
Everyone, if we lift everyone up. And you're starting to see other teams bring in players from the G League and start doing this developing thing. And Toronto started it, man.
And
they truly did.
And people say, oh, the Raptors draft so well, which like we do. But I think it's just the more our development is so good.
We draft strategically.
Yeah, but I'm
And
saying
then you
like I think it's
Yeah.
more just our development is so good that it makes our drafts look so good.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Absolutely.
Like another team, like we drafted Norman Powell 46, and look who he is now. But another team could have taken him 46, and he wouldn't be who he is now because they wouldn't have developed him as well.
No
Exactly.
way. No way. They wouldn't give him the minutes. They wouldn't give him the opportunities. And one thing that you love about the Raptors is that they'll put a guy like Delano Banton in, go play for the 905 and then scores
Norman,
like
his rookie
40
year,
points.
played in the playoffs. His rookie year and had that crazy
Oh,
run against
yeah,
Indiana.
yeah.
And he was playing in the G League that year, though.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So, okay, moving on from player of the week.
We're
What do
into
we have
questions.
next? Questions?
So
Yeah.
you guys are tied. Do you want me to go first or do you want me to go last?
Yeah, why don't you go
yeah,
first?
you
'cause
go
our
first,
questions
yeah.
are-
Yeah.
And then Sam will go, and then I will go.
Well, they're kind of tied
Or-
together, so we
okay.
can kind of tackle them at the same
Ask-
time.
okay, sure.
Yeah.
So my question is, so we're 0-4 with Pascal Siakam in the lineup. So my question is he to blame? Pascal.
Well, I think we all know my answer. On those first two games are just a wash for me. Like there were so many things, like the minutes restriction, just gelling with like he's never played with Scotty Barnes, all this stuff. But the last two games, which I'm probably looking more at, no,
Yeah.
because I think the half court offense looks like
Great.
so much more.
Defensively though.
Yeah, but the defense is. The offense looks like way better with him because we're using him as like a short roller and he's making really nice decisions out of the short roll.
Yes, passing very well.
Yep, he's picking his spots. He's like one of the only guys who can just go like even if he's not the best at it compared to other players in the league, he is our best isolation scorer. The defense is his defense has been atrocious, but there are like a lot of other holes in the defense, and I think that's more of like I don't think the defense is going to improve if we keep this sort of trend going, even when Pascal gets his legs back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think like, no, I don't think I think the blame for the stretch is the defense, and I think maybe those first two,
in general, not just Pascal. You're saying in general.
yeah, in general,
Yeah.
and I think those first two games, sure, you can maybe blame to Pascal, but that's not really like there were so many other circumstances, right? So,
I agree with that because I think the first two games, he wasn't really back.
no,
he was
working his way back.
there.
Yeah, it was like
you know?
it was like kind of like his preseason still,
Yeah,
right?
he still
So-
played bad those two games,
Yeah.
but I'm not holding that as against him as
This
much.
is what Pascal is.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
because we know that, yeah.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna struggle. I didn't think he was gonna struggle that much, especially against Boston. But so I was kind of upset about it. But no, yeah, and I agree. Where these past games is off, like the offense looks great with him, and I'm so happy about that because that's I've been dying to see that, and it looks so good with him. Just the way they're all moving the ball. He's we said this already, but the way he's just really kind of taking into the team's idea of everybody's equal. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And he's not thinking to himself, "I'm the guy. I got to be the guy" anymore. He's not doing that anymore. At least from what we saw the past two
Yeah.
games, and it's so nice.
And he still has that ability though.
Yes,
Sometimes
he
when you
does.
need a guy,
If we need it, he
but
can do it.
Throughout the rest of the game,
But he's
being
not forcing
really,
it.
Yeah, and he's being really deliberate with his plays. And then his passing has looked really good. And
Yeah.
I've been happy.
Yeah, defensively, yeah, I agree. The defense is my blame for the 0-4 with him. Us trying to gel with him defensively just isn't working right now.
No.
And that's again, we'll get more into this when you guys want to get into it with the starting five thing. But right now it's kind of reason why I don't think he should be starting at center. But anyway, we'll get more into that. Yeah, what do you think?
No, like I agree with Sam. Like I don't think Pascal is to blame. The defense has been a liability all around. Like it's just it's not solely because of Pascal. I think the minutes restriction really is messed a lot of stuff
I
up.
think it's off now. He played 34 minutes against
Yeah,
Detroit.
and
Yeah.
in his 2 normal minutes games, he looked good. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
he played
yeah,
against Portland.
exactly.
He played 39 minutes against Portland, so I don't think
think
there's any minutes restriction.
I think Pascal, just like everybody else on the team, contributed to the losses. You know what I mean? Contributed to being a reason why we lost those games. Is he the sole reason why we lost those games?
No.
Absolutely not. You know,
The more reason I ask is because I think a lot of casual Raptors fans who might watch this think it's Pascal's fault because he's just
No.
tied with that record. So I kind of just want to,
No.
get rid of that stipulation.
Who would have? Oh man, you started a war in the comment section. What the fuck was that even about?
I didn't even. All I said was my comment was like
you didn't even reply to anybody, but people
No,
just
I'm
like,
not
you had like
trying to get
12
involved.
comments that are just
But-
like, holy.
The thread was just arguments.
yeah. I literally commented like if he like grows like Giannis did,
Scotty,
then, then he'll be dangerous, something like that. And was like, he's not trying to say he's like Giannis, bro, like all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And he's like,
Oh, I was seeing that. Like, man, she just delete the comment.
no, that
got pinned.
Engagement.
It did get
Engagement.
pinned. It did get
Engagement.
pinned.
That's all we care
Yeah,
about.
That's
exactly.
right.
Yeah. You don't need to reply.
I love seeing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, like Pascal. I'm just honestly, I'm very happy with how Pascal's been playing in the last couple of games,
Yeah, me
and
too.
we just know. Okay, given how Pascal's played in the last couple of games, I think that I have a more positive and optimistic outlook on the potential now of him as a player on this particular team, strictly because of the decisions that he's been making. It's the higher IQ, and I think the lower IQ plays came from, I think, the fear of, I have to be that guy.
I think he was in his own head too
Yeah,
much.
and he was. And I think he was trying to play like that bubble guy and not trusting everybody.
Yeah.
And that team wasn't the Raptors. Like Aaron Baines, like it was
No,
all
that-
it was all over the place, man.
Yeah.
like
It-
Such a.
It's
I
very.
thought about the roster last year. It's like, what a weird roster. What a
an
weird
awful
rotation we
roster.
had.
Yeah.
Stanley Johnson, DeAndre Bemby, Rodney
Paul
Hood,
Watson.
Paul
Terrence-
Watson getting minutes.
Terrence
Terrence
Davis.
Davis.
Oh my God, yeah.
yeah, Paul Watson.
Alex
yeah.
Len.
Alex
Yeah,
Len for
right.
a little bit there.
Freddie Gillespie was like our savior.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
We were
exactly.
like, thank God for this guy, Freddie Gillespie. He got cut.
Yeah, it's yeah. So I think we touched enough on that.
Yeah.
Let's go with Sam.
Yeah, so me and Luke's questions are both really like tied in together, but mine was we've talked that the defense has been awful. I have been thinking that the Raptors should maybe play a more conservative and less complicated defense. And I want to know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, so that was kind of my thing against Detroit, where they were playing way too aggressive for playing against Detroit. For Detroit, you gotta let them make more own mistakes. And this is where I want to get more into the starting lineup thing. I think the reason we need to start Ken Burch is because then we just have a guy down there with all 5 guys who are, you'd say, more perimeter defensive than interior defensive guys.
Totally.
They're all hunting for those steals. They're all just playing over aggressive, right? They don't have a guy that's just set down there. And I really think we just need a guy set down there.
Yeah, we
to hold,
do.
like, because if we're all being aggressive and there's a blow by, that's it. And that's what happened that was a big thing against Portland and Detroit. They set open lanes all
And
game. That was exactly why.
even in Philadelphia, man, that's why Tyrese got in there and so many layups, man.
Yeah.
So many layups. He's just absolutely finding the holes in the defense and then
Yeah.
exposing the fact that we don't have
and
a
that was,
ton of
and that was because that was
force
when,
down
when
low.
Precious was off the court. That's when that was happening.
Exactly.
We just need a guy that can hold us down there.
And
who
Ken
can,
was
who can
out
be
that
there.
game, was he not?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
he was.
Exactly. So we had a huge
And
liability.
every NBA player is an extremely smart and talented basketball player, and when they see an open man, they can make that read 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
So the Raptors just leaving so many open shooters and giving respect to guys who we have really good individual defenders. Just let them play up. Like, let OG hold his own against Jeremy Grant.
Yes.
You don't need to send another guy.
No, absolutely not.
No, so
And then
it's-
that was a big thing back in Brooklyn too, when Patty Mills opened all game.
Yeah.
Because we were just leaving our guys.
we're chasing everywhere, man. So much chasing.
And
it's
then
just, oh.
doesn't like, and even if you're not a good shooter in NBA terms, every NBA player can make threes, except maybe Ben Simmons. But
wide open threes like we're giving them.
It's
Especially
Patty
exactly.
Ben
Mills, one of the
Simmons
best-
can
Yeah,
absolutely make
and then,
those
and then when you're
threes.
leaving guys like Patty Mills wide open, Sadiq Bey wide open, like these guys are shooters, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's frustrating. I think, we have such a new group that it would be so much more beneficial to because we know Nick Nurse loves these these complicated sets and schemes, and it's like that works with the 2019
they're all
championship
veterans.
team.
Yes.
They're all-
Yes.
Yes, but now you have a completely brand new team that will work. It will work.
Just
eventually.
yes, just leave it to more just one-on-one defense.
Yes.
Just let them do their thing. Have some help defense when they get blown by. And again, that's just where I think we need a center.
Yeah.
Just to be there.
Sure.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Personally, I still think we can get it done without a center.
So I want to hear your thoughts about it.
Is
Like,
your question really is interesting in your feeling about this? Because I have an answer to your question that might solve our.
Would you like to read my question, Sam?
Do you want me to read it?
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
would you like to read it?
Well, no.
joking.
Sorry.
No,
I meant to say
joking,
it, like,
joking.
Would
Yeah,
you like to read
so,
my question? I don't have it in
Luke's-
front of me.
Luke's question was, what adjustments can be made to the defense to try and stop the perimeter more effectively? Because we saw Maxey, Cade hurt us, and the Portland guards all hurt us all week.
Even Simons.
Yeah. So do you want to answer your own question, Luke?
Well, to be honest, like I really wanted to pose this because it was like your question about we're like, I think we need to go back to basics.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We got to start from the beginning and start building on what we can already have confidence to do. And the easiest thing is to start at the simplest defensive schemes.
I think we're just getting carried away defensively.
We
I think.
absolutely
and,
are.
And I think we started out so great defensively, and now we're like, okay, but what if we did this now even better?
Yeah.
And that's just when it
It's like
gets
we
out
need
of
to make
control.
those changes
build.
after December.
Let's build and
Like,
build
yeah.
and build when guys get used to playing with each other. Most of these guys have only been in the league for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, we gotta
then
sit
you-
on cruise control.
My biggest answer for this question is against guys like CJ and Dame.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Scared me.
No, sorry. No. So let's get both sides of the answer to this question with the non-traditional center and
Okay.
the why we think we
Wait, so
need
are
a
you
traditional
for non-traditional
center.
center?
Well, I'm both. So let me argue for the non-traditional.
Okay.
Okay, so my thing for a non-traditional center is, well, if you're playing without a non-traditional center, is I think on the perimeter when you're going against guards who are average or aren't elite pull-up shooters, you can go under screens. Right now the Raptors are jumping every single screen,
Yeah.
and that's giving guys like Tyrese Maxey. If Tyrese Maxey hits 2 pull-up threes, go over the screen. But if he's not hitting that shot, just go under the screen so you can hang with them into the lane, and then you can bring everyone towards them.
Yeah.
With Dame and CJ, you don't have that luxury.
Yes.
Because they're awesome pull-up shooters. So that's like it's time when you can play
you
the
put-
traditional center.
yeah, okay.
But because the Raptors have so much length, they can recover. And even if you go under the screen, we have the length and athleticism to still get out and contest, at least get an arm up. And I think that does you can still be aggressive, but know your matchup, right?
Is this my rebuttal?
Mm-hmm.
I what you're saying makes sense, but when you're saying we can just chase them with our length kind of thing, I think it's way easier said than done.
Yeah.
Personally, I think these are still really skilled offensive NBA players. They know how to get around those kind of things, and if not, they can adjust pretty quick. Where if they see Pascal Chase behind them, they'll just go up and under. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that you don't have as many options when everyone's the same size. You
Yeah.
pretty much have like one kind of thing you want to.
One style.
One style you can kind of play. I mean, you can do different things within that style, but
I think with what you're saying, where we go under the screens, these guys, if we have Pascal guarding a small forward, for example, which happens a lot because we have Scotty and OG and the bigger guys, if he goes under the screen, they're still fast enough to get a first step and just go right by him.
Yeah.
You got Pascal behind them, and it's kind of screwed, right?
Yeah.
I think we'd be way more comfortable on defense if we just had a guy down there.
Yeah.
And especially with guys like when we're playing against Isaiah Stewart and Yusuf Nurkic, these are guys that are just hanging down low. They're not a perimeter threat at all.
no.
So if we just have Kem Birch down there on them, I don't think that hurts us at all. I think that benefits us more than having Pascal or OG or Scotty on them. Because again, I guess our one-on-one defense is awesome, but we're doing all this helping. We're trying to be more complicated. And I just think guys are going to get blown by. It's how it works. I just think having that guy, because when we get blown by now, there's nothing. There's literally nothing. And again, we saw this so much, especially against Detroit. Like Josh Jags had 3 straight line drives because he just blew by whoever's defender was, like Sphere or whoever it was. And that's just, we get screwed. And that's a quick 6 points for a role player.
And the rim protector gives you the safety valve for when your defense isn't on. I said this in the chat last night, I think, and just on nights when you can play aggressive, but on nights when the aggressiveness or second night of a back-to-back and the legs aren't there, you got a Miles Turner, a Rudy Gobert who can bail you out and win you a game
And
just
then-
by deterring shots at the rim.
Yep. And then we're playing against Portland. All our starters played about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
When you get to the nitty gritty, man,
gonna wear on you.
their legs,
But-
it's so hard to stay out on a guy one-on-one. You got to
Here's-
expect blow-bys. You got the guy.
And here's where I have a little bit of a not necessarily differing thought, but maybe something to add is that
Sure.
I think that what we're seeing is that this is not only is this kind of style very new, but this is also a very young team who hasn't mastered how to play this sort of defense. And I think it's important to keep that in mind because what you just said, we're playing 5 or 6 guys upwards of 30 plus minutes a game. That's not sustainable. However, that's not the vision for this team. The vision is that we can get Utah out there. We can get, well, maybe somebody like Chris, but if he's playing better. But more of these guys.
Waves of a similar type of player.
Exactly. Is that when we distribute the playing time just as much as everybody's height, you're hoping that when it comes down to the crucial minutes, you're going to have fresh legs who are ready to play great defense and hustle out there against teams who are playing, like, for example, like Dame and CJ, who are playing those 30, 40 minutes a game. Whereas you don't need a specific guy to guard those two. You can get anybody out there on the court
It's a huge experimental thing.
Very
experimental. I'm totally with it. But like, if we're rotation-wise, if we're at a point where we got to play all our starters 40 minutes, I don't think it's a good time to do the experiment.
It's just true.
I get where we just want to keep doing it and get it into our guys' mind, like making our identity. So I get maybe that's why they want to do it all the time. But if you're trying to win basketball games, which I know Nick Nurse is trying to win basketball games, you don't. I think you just got to play it safe, put Kem in there for a bit, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
But and then the one other thing that I wanted to mention, though, is with the traditional centers that if we are going to go for a traditional center, we're going to have to. The problem with that is now we're going to have to sacrifice a lot of people on our team, and we're going to lose a lot of players who we do want to keep and fit into that system on defensive and the offensive
I don't
end.
think I'm going to sacrifice too much. I mean, just
Well,
having
depends on how good of a
Kem-
center you want.
No, we don't
though.
need anything. We need Kem Birch, another guy to that level.
I think you need better than. I don't know if Kem Birch is good enough. Though,
Well, so we're saying long term right now.
Yeah.
We're saying we keep if we get rid of this experiment thing. Is that what we're saying right now?
well, I'm just saying, like, say we go after Miles Turner.
Okay, yeah, I would love that so much.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm okay getting rid of Precious and Malachi. For
Like
Miles
okay,
Turner. I think he's that
even
good.
like Rashawn Holmes. I really wanted Jared Allen this offseason. I wanted those two guys. Like, I don't know. I think we're gonna give up. We're gonna give up like offensively,
You have to give up to
shooting and
get-
stuff like that. But I think it would be to our benefit, personally.
Yeah,
Okay.
very wise. Very
No. There's really no right or wrong answer to when it comes to this sort of stuff, right? I guess it's one of those things that we'll just have to see.
Just for me, like again, I do like the experiment. I think what we're doing with
yeah.
it, but I think when we're against Portland, for example, I think we gotta make the smarter decision and play Kem Birch a little more.
Yep.
I agree. Yeah. Okay, so what's next?
Well, we got 2 games to look ahead at because the third game is going to be after we record our new Sunday
Our
podcast.
new Sunday podcast, baby.
Monday
Is
podcast.
that on
technically, but-
Monday?
Is that the Warriors game is against the Raptors is Sunday night?
So that'll be after we record.
So we're gonna record. So what time is
It's,
it?
it's a late one because they're playing Golden
Yeah,
State.
we'll record
that's
before
too
that
bad.
game.
Yeah,
See,
we'll
this
record
is why.
But then if we recorded after that game, we only have like one game to talk about the next podcast.
No, we have no games.
Oh, no game. Oh, yeah, right.
So we'll talk a lot about Warriors, Raptors
I see.
on next Wednesday's podcast. So we don't really need to dive into.
and that one might be shorter too. Like, who cares if it's like 45 minutes?
yeah,
It doesn't
no,
matter.
Nope.
But because this one's a bit long.
Yeah.
Good.
But anyways,
Well, we've got,
this is why it might be beneficial. Like, if our what is the word I'm looking for? Living situation plans work out in the way that we want to. It wouldn't be as bad
Yeah.
because
No,
you
yeah, 'cause
know
we just go right to bed.
We wouldn't be up till
in
3 a.m.
and-
editing.
Yeah, like of course, like even if we are up until 3 a.m., it's like I get a noise complaint or something.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, like I don't mind recording until 3 in the morning, but like
the neighbors.
I don't want to piss off everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, Scotty Barnes, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So
Well, yeah, the road trip will continue. We got the Jazz on Thursday and the Kings on Friday.
I'm
a
really
little back
excited.
to back.
I'm really excited for the
Jazz game
Yep.
will be lit.
Really
It's
excited.
interesting
for
to
that
see
game.
how the Raptors, well, because we're not going to be able to score the paint at a high level. It's going to be interesting. Like our shooters are going to have to carry us that game.
in our transition.
Yep. And then the Kings that
They're a slower team.
the Jazz.
The
Yeah.
Jazz are.
Yep. And
So we'll see how that goes.
this Kings game, I think, is going to be extremely high scoring. This is 2 teams that defense is not.
Well, we'll see if the
well,
Raptors defense
yeah.
turns around by
The
then.
defense is a
we're
priority
hoping,
for
we're hoping.
Raptors. It is not even a priority for the Kings. So this is going to be a crazy tempo game, though. Like the Kings,
Well,
it's just going to be running.
we'll probably
running,
get to
running.
see Terrence Davis back out there.
I hope not.
Not looking forward to that.
Yeah, see him in jail.
Screw that.
Uh,
No second chances for Sam.
yeah.
I think. Well, like, okay, so with the Kings, bro, I hate Luke Walton. He's my least favorite coach.
Oh, he's an awful coach.
He's so bad. He's slowing that team down.
Bad dude too. Yeah.
He's like they wanted like the year before they got Luke Walton, they had the fastest pace in the league, and that was the year they almost made the playoffs for the first time ever. And then right after that, Luke Walton came in. They fired their coach for some reason, and then Luke Walton came in, and they were like on the lower half of pace in the league with De'Aaron Fox as your starting.
I'm not
Damn.
going to go Elias route and declare any wins. So I think we're going to
Yeah,
lose.
yeah.
But we're going to lose both games.
You think
Reverse the curse.
Do you actually think, or
No,
you just jinxing?
Reversing the curse.
Okay.
We're going to lose both games.
Yeah. No more wins this
Yeah.
season.
Okay, guys. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about looking ahead, to be honest. The podcast has ran a bit long. I think we talked a lot of... The podcast is very meaty.
Yes,
talked
it
about
was. I
a
liked it.
lot.
It was
And
A lot going on.
yeah, so I think we're going to wrap it up here right now. We got to do the editing. So, all right. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning into the podcast. If you're still with us, we hope you are. We are super, super, again, excited to announce that we are getting another episode in. So you guys can expect this podcast to go semi-weekly, 2 episodes a week, one Monday and one on Thursday. So we're really excited to do that for you guys. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcast, make sure to leave us a rating and also leave us a review. You can find us at RapChat Podcast on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, where you can see us post new clips and updates every week. I'm your host, Luke Dick.
I'm Elias Eldridge.
And I'm Sam Kenny.
And we'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Peace out.